Welcome.
Yeah.
We are the Man or
Gentlemen.
Man podcast.
What's going on?
Wow.
This is the dynamic trio. To my left, I have, Raz,
Finally.
Artura, Mr. Teddy Kiala. And
Yeah,
to my
man.
other left, I have Yann, a.k.a. Colonel Coca.
What's up? What's
My name is Ted Coca. What's
Now,
up, gentlemen?
your name is what?
My
We
name
need
is-
to hear
my
that
name
loud
is-
properly. I don't think people got
You know,
that.
my mic is loud. Don't worry, they got it.
It's Ted Coca, guys.
My name is Ted Coca.
Nice.
Gentlemen, Happy New Year.
Happy New
Happy New Year. I'll drink to that. I'll drink to that
Yeah,
real
why
quick.
not? Toast out to them. Happy New Year.
And
In the eye.
you know.
God, look me up in the eye, bro. What's wrong with you?
may
What's
this be,
wrong
may
with
this
you?
be the
I don't know.
Look
My
at you
wife
in the
says
eye.
you gotta
My
look
bad,
in
my
the
bad,
eye.
my bad,
Look
my
me in the eye. Yeah.
yes.
That's it.
May this be the first of many. I think it's I feel like it's an iconic moment.
Yeah.
Sir.
I've definitely documented this as an iconic moment. New Year resolutions, as
Ooh.
it's always polite to ask someone.
why you looking at me?
Did
You go.
New Year's resolution. Look, man, I usually don't do New Year's resolutions, but we're grown now and we have kids, so it's time to look at ourselves and prioritize ourselves. In terms of just finance, I think I'm ready to stop just lending people money.
Right.
Like I need to make sure that I'm cool first
Right.
before, sometimes I think I took it overboard sometimes last year, where I only need the money month
I
end.
share the
and
same
it's
sentiment.
like today's like the 10th,
Yeah.
so I mean
I
I can do it. Okay, here you go, and then I'm disappointed at the end of the month. I'm done with that. Yeah.
Jan, your New Year resolutions?
Wow, same sentiment. I could share the
Really?
sentiment. Yeah. I think 2022 was the year I was taken for a ride, man. So I was tossed to run. So I think this year it's me, myself, and I, and family. And I think I've definitely made it. I made a sound decision that I'm not gonna be passing out cash
No
anymore.
cash.
Nah, I'm done.
But wait, so
I'm done helping out people. I'm done. You can hate on me. You can do whatever you want to do.
Where I put my
I'm
What do you look
done helping out people, guys.
okay, so wait, my question becomes
Wait. Before you go, what's your New Year's resolution?
my New Year resolutions. I generally don't have New Year resolutions. The one thing I wanted to do
Right.
was find 3 distinct gentlemen and launch a podcast.
Oh yes, so that needs a toast.
Obviously,
right there.
be one of them.
Cheers to that
So
one.
that's been achieved within where we now within 18 days. So there go my New Year resolutions. It's been done.
Nice.
I feel like you're cheating though.
It's
I
nice.
feel like you need to tell us something personal.
personal.
Something that
I like that one.
Right.
I like that one. This one's for the public, right?
Now you know what it is. I think I don't have New Year resolutions. I typically have goals.
Okay.
So I would be in year X of a particular goal, and then just reiterate how I fix that. So be it in my business, in my relationship. If I want to be somewhere in 5 years, I'm in year 3 of that
Getting to
journey.
that dope.
Right. So you focus on how do you do better.
I like that.
But yeah, that's me.
Nice.
The question I wanted to hone in on is, how did you guys become the guy that people call when they need money? What did you do, or
that's
what did you do wrong? When everyone feels like I'm in a fucked up situation,
Hey, Arthur, you
Raz
go
is on
first.
speed dial, Yann is on speed dial.
This way you go first.
So I
man.
heard this saying from someone. Just because I look like I'm okay doesn't mean I'm necessarily okay.
That's a good one.
So, I could be looking really bad with the bank balance, but you won't see it
Showing up.
on me because I've taken care of all the necessary things that need to be taken care of: food, everything to look good. I might not have enough money to go get myself a new car, but all the important stuff is taken care of.
Right.
The priorities are there.
Looking good and having everything you need sometimes sends the wrong message to people. They make it look. They may think that, yo, this guy's always.
He's on point.
He's never hungry.
Right. He's on point.
Yeah.
And that's what opens the door for people to ask the
I
question.
think so.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a very good one. So for me, it's my nature. I'm a giver by nature, and I'm a helper. So generally, if I see somebody who's struggling, the first thing I tend to do, it might not be financially, but I tend to go and help. If it allows me to help, I come in and help. My help's not needed, then obviously I back off. But where people just, where the line was drawn was when people, they borrow the money and they just disappear. They take the money, they're gone.
I think that's everyone's story as well, man.
You're not gonna call them as if you run a call center, a bloody call center, and you gotta call them up and say, "Listen, dude, you remember X, Y, Z? Please, when am I getting it? It's stories today, tomorrow." The worst part is getting it back in pieces. When I gave
someone
it to
owes you
you,
$100, they send you $20.
now you start giving me, brother, here's
25.
$10.
But it's,
Yes,
it's
20
installment
bucks.
now. It's the way we pay
No,
everything.
when you borrow the full amount from, if you want to borrow installments from me, then borrow in installment.
Okay.
You
I
know,
get
you
it.
know what, dog?
Yeah,
I like that thing you said about it's in your nature,
yeah,
because it's also in my nature. Like, although I might be saying something here, if someone comes to me,
You'll probably
the
help
first
again.
the first thing that comes to my head is always, what would you do? What would happen to you if you were in that situation?
right.
So I always think in that form. So, I mean, I look at the situation. If someone really needs, and I need to sacrifice myself in that position, I usually will.
And also because I've also been in a situation where you're looking for somebody to help, somebody to help you.
Exactly.
Right.
You're like, God, I need somebody to help me out now. So when somebody comes to me and I literally put myself in their shoe, I definitely assess a few things. I'm like, look, will he be able to pay back? Most of the times I analyze and I say, okay, this guy can't pay me back. He needs $1,000, but dude, here's $500. Take it. I don't want it back. That's sometimes what I decide. That's it.
Can I share my personal approach on this?
Yeah.
So I generally don't borrow people money. If someone asks me for money and I have it, I give it away. I'm not telling the person I'm gonna give it away.
But does the amount matter though?
The amount matters, right? So,
So
and
I'm actually coming to you.
it's all relative, but
because I know you will need it back.
and I'll tell you why. Over time I've learned that there's a sort of grace that comes back to you when you do that. Because one, I don't believe in burning bridges over anything, especially money.
Yeah.
And generally, when someone borrows money, assume it's not coming back. And we can talk tomorrow, and I'm not going to ask you about it. If I give someone money, I don't chase it. And the reason I describe the grace is because when I'm in a situation, people just naturally, give me that grace. People are patient with us.
Yeah.
They understanding
because of
etc.
how you treated
And I feel
them.
like it's just the law of the universe.
But you
that
see,
does
because you have the morals, you have the understanding. So when you give it to somebody, some people don't have that same moral with you. So what I want to find out is from you, what's the limit in terms of amount? If somebody comes and borrows 10K, you give that and say, okay, you want, if it goes, 10
Yes.
grand, 100 grand,
Yes,
250 grand.
Yes.
It's gone, it's gone.
it's gone.
Brother,
At
no,
least the
I'm
upside-
coming
the
to my own
upside
brother
is-
for this.
The upside is they're never gonna ask you for money again if
Yeah.
they took the money.
Voila. You see, so that's the
That's the
thing that
cash
they
truly
have
too.
to deal with.
Yeah.
And you not.
And until they give that money back, they're not.
No,
coming
but
back
they've
for
burned
more.
the bridges because by then he's chasing, and it's
Yeah.
No, but he
or
says he
not
doesn't
even
chase.
No.
chasing, but the fact that you were meant to
Yeah.
bring it back and you're not. Yeah.
So okay, that's beautiful. I want to set the scene and the color. I want you guys to know who these distinguished gentlemen are.
And who
So I'm gonna
he is.
fire off.
What is this? What is distinguished? stand for? What
Distinguished
is that?
gentlemen. They just look at the screen. They know.
Distinguished.
These three distinguished gentlemen. I'm gonna do some rapid fire questions. All right. I'm gonna start with you, Teddy,
fuck?
and then
Rapid.
here's the rule: you can't think about it. You have one pass.
What's it?
One pass means
Ooh.
you can select both options. You ready?
Ooh.
Go.
Okay. Are you a capitalist or a socialist?
Socialist.
Do you prefer men or women?
Women.
Dark skin or light skin?
Both.
Okay, took his pass very quickly. Are you a believer or an atheist?
Believer.
Do you prefer breast or ass?
Ass.
Side chick or second wife?
Side chick.
Do you give her money or buy her gifts?
TikTok. He's thinking. He's
Four.
thinking, guys. He's
Gives.
thinking.
Okay. Missionary or doggy?
Hey. Come on.
Missionary.
Are you led by instincts?
I'm old school.
Are you led by instincts or facts?
Instincts.
Weed, cigars, or cigarettes?
Weed.
Whiskey, cognac, or wine?
Cognac.
Are you a
Yeah.
saver or a spender?
I am a saver.
Entrepreneurship or seek employment?
Entrepreneurship.
Aisle or window seat?
Window seat, definitely.
V8 or a Tesla?
V8. Come on.
Online dating or do you approach women in person?
I approach
Be
women in
honest.
person.
Be honest, man.
Introvert or extrovert?
Introvert.
Do you prefer sex in the morning or in the evening?
Yo,
I prefer sex.
you gotta pick one, dude.
Sir, there is a very clear question here. Sex in the morning or in the evening?
I think in the morning.
Yeah,
it
now your
sets the
wife's
tone.
got clarity. That's why last night.
Sets the tone.
Okay. Push comes to shove. Would you be a porn star or a drug dealer?
Drug dealer.
Didn't think about that. I thought you. I thought you would have thought about that a little bit.
Nah.
He knows what to do. And then last one. Are you religious or spiritual?
I'm very spiritual.
Okay.
Damn.
Okay.
You had a lot of thinking to do there, bro.
That's good, man.
I'm
Thank you.
very spiritual. I didn't think about that.
That's good
No,
context.
I mean through some of the questions,
Yeah,
hiccups,
yeah,
one
yeah,
or
yeah.
two
That's
good
hiccups.
context.
So you have to make sure. You
couple
say
of
the
hiccups.
right
So, I
message.
mean, over to you. Do us the same favor. Raz is
Questions
going to
are-
ask Yann.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, yeah.
snap.
And then Yann's going to shoot the
Are
same
you ready,
to me.
Yann?
Let's go for it, man. Let's do this.
I know the first question was, are you a capitalist or a socialist?
Capitalist.
Do you prefer men or women?
Women.
You like dark skin or light skin?
Dark skin.
Are you a believer or an atheist?
Believer.
Do you prefer breasts or ass?
Ass.
Side chick or second wife?
Third wife.
Side chick or second wife?
It's a second wife.
Do you give her money or do you buy her flowers?
I give her money.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll give her money.
Missionary or doggy?
Doggy. It's a dog world. man.
You go by
Elaboration.
instincts or facts?
Instincts.
Weed, cigars, or cigarettes?
Weed.
Whiskey, cognac, wine,
Whiskey.
vodka? Whiskey.
Whiskey.
Are you a saver or a spender?
I'm gonna make a boat, sort of
Both.
boat. Yeah,
That's your pass, eh?
that's my path.
Entrepreneurship or employment? do you see?
Entrepreneurship. Could be both too.
Window seat or aisle?
Aisle. It's nice to look when they pass.
V8 or Tesla?
V8.
Online dating or personal dating?
In person.
Dating in person.
No, approach a woman in person.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'll approach you in person.
Yeah, approach in person. Okay, my bad. You're an introvert or an extrovert?
Introvert. Very.
Sex in the evening or in the morning?
All day, man.
That's not a question. Yeah, man.
Yes. Me, whenever the clock,
If
the
you have to
alarm
choose
rings.
one, you already took your pass.
If I have to choose one, evening.
Evening.
Yeah.
You're an evening guy.
Just because I got to choose.
push comes to shove, are you gonna be a porn star or a drug dealer?
What? No, drug dealer.
I mean, a drug dealer can have sex whenever he wants.
Exactly, man.
Are you religious or spiritual?
I'm spiritual.
Nice.
Okay,
Nice.
cool.
Yes, sir. Man, wow.
Yeah, let's go.
Wowzers. Let's go.
Quick
Let's
one.
go. Let's go. Let's go.
It's
Let's
rapid
go.
fire.
Rapid fire. Are you a capitalist or socialist?
Capitalist.
Do you prefer man or woman?
Women.
Dark skin or light skin?
Light skin.
Are you a believer or atheist?
Believer.
Do you prefer breast or ass?
Ass.
Side chicks or second wife?
Both.
Do you?
That's my pause.
No doubt. Yeah, I like that.
Do you give her money or buy her flowers?
Money.
Missionary or doggy?
Doggy.
Are you led by instincts or facts?
Instincts.
Weed, cigar, cigarettes?
Cigars.
Whiskey, cognac or wine?
Whiskey.
Saver or spender?
Spender.
Entrepreneurship or seek employment?
Entrepreneurship.
Right? Aisle seat or window seat?
I'll see it.
V8 or Tesla?
V8.
Online dating or in-person
In
approach?
person.
Introvert or extrovert?
Extrovert.
Sex in the morning or in the evening?
Can
Bum,
I hit
bum.
it in the morning?
It sets the tone.
Can I?
That's how we go. Anyway.
Okay, so push comes to shove, porn star or drug dealer?
Porn star.
Hey!
Porn star, for real.
Yeah.
Yo, you said cigars.
Wait,
Why aren't you
wait.
having a cigar now?
We can't have a cigar now because of stage 6.
Stage 6.
Oh, snap, yeah. The fan won't work, the vents.
No, we need a
won't work.
solution.
Yeah,
for
we need
stage
a
six.
hey,
need to
stage
fig-
6
we
is
need to
killing
figure
us.
it
We
out.
can't smoke.
Otherwise,
Vents
we
are
just
dead.
damage the room.
All right, it's wait, fire. So you said you'd be a porn star, religious or spiritual?
Spiritual.
Spiritual. But let's go back to that one. I'm interested. Why porn star?
Because I think the selling drugs
Yeah.
has severe consequences on society.
Don't
It's
you
not
think being
it's
a
not
porn
just,
star?
Say again.
Porn star?
Yeah, it's just it's recorded pleasure. It's captured pleasure. You know, you'd rather be that guy than the guy in the corner.
Ish.
I'm trying not to get killed. It's too
I think
we all
it's
have
too
our views
dangerous.
around it.
I think it's too dangerous.
It depends on what level you are. If
I'll
I'm like Al
become- I'll
Chapo,
become
then
like-
it's a different thing.
I open up my black book, get a camera. I'm joking, but yeah, that push comes to shove. That's
Porn
where
star.
I'm going. That's,
Okay.
that's definitely.
There's
where
nothing
I'm
wrong
going.
with that. It's you. It's your choice.
Do you remember Animal Farm?
Yeah.
There's a beautiful line in there when they're drafting the constitution of the animals. They say, I think it's rule 1: all animals are equal, but some animals are more equal than others.
That's it.
Do you remember that?
We are separate equals.
Is that what you mean by separate equals?
Separate equals.
But that's not equality.
It's not equality at all.
It's equality on levels. You see, we can never be equal. We're different. We're born different. Everything about us is different.
That's
Right.
an oxymoron right there.
But this is where it gets beautiful. We are equal. Even God says in the Bible it says everyone is equal. What does equal actually mean?
Where does it say that?
We're born equal. Doesn't it say we're born equal?
Where?
Does-
I see this spiritual now.
Wait, okay, so I'm spiritual. Remember, I'm spiritual. I'm not that religious.
Right.
But
Somewhere in the Bible,
allegedly,
in
it's
allegedly.
in the Bible it says that we're all born equal.
Allegedly.
Okay, so he's referring to in the book of Raz, chapter 2, verse 3.
That's it. So being born equal doesn't necessarily mean that we're equal in situations or equal in
So let me isolate the question because you're going somewhere with the factory. I'll start with Yann on this question. Do you think that all men are equally masculine?
All men equally masculine.
Oh, wait, what does masculine mean?
Okay, wait. I want to understand when you
I
say.
like the question. So you want to start by, and it's something we definitely have to talk about because it's 2023. One of the things that brings us together as gents is that men are now walking on eggshells.
Right.
And so you sort of have to define masculinity.
Yeah.
Maybe we start there. How do you define masculinity?
Personally, how I define masculinity is power, presence is the obvious one. Having a
Johnny.
a Johnny. Number one, but I think mostly it's presence, it's attitude, it's the attributes a man should have. Being able to stand out
Got it.
is masculinity. Protect is one of them, but mostly I think power is very
Right.
very important
Power is an important aspect of masculinity,
of masculinity.
and how you wield that power.
Absolutely, how you channel it.
Raz,
especially.
how do you define masculinity?
Masculinity to me is your ability to leadership. I think,
Right.
I think. So, masculinity has sort of different elements. So there's the physical, and obviously there's just the aura that you give off, I guess,
Mhm.
for lack of a better word. When someone is masculine, you're not necessarily talking about a male.
Right.
You're talking about someone that has masculine attributes.
So you're saying masculinity is not gender specific.
It is.
Okay.
So it is gender specific.
I think it is.
Okay.
So only a
But-
man can be masculine.
But so that's the thing.
Right.
Now, not just because my roots are African and I'm born in the States doesn't make me non-African.
Got
It's
it.
just that I was born in the States.
Got it. Okay.
So being masculine is a man is a thing is something meant for men, but some women have masculine traits.
Got it.
So
So women can also be masculine.
yeah, I mean it could
But
be
it goes against
in a
what you
physical
said.
thing.
Okay.
It could be the way she walks or whatever.
Right.
It could be.
So we're
remember-
talking about appearance. We're not talking about gender.
So that's
right?
the thing. Masculinity is far beyond something that you just see. You can see it,
Mm-hmm.
but it's also the way you behave as a person and
But you can have a female who talks and
walks like a man.
like a man, but speaks as a woman. Does that make her masculine?
I mean, if she's talking and walking like a man, she's already qualified as masculine.
So she has it
She
masculinity.
has masculine traits.
Okay.
Just because you're masculine doesn't mean you're not
Okay.
you're
The
not,
question is very. It's
just
very,
because you're masculine doesn't mean you can't be led.
Right.
Because men can be led by other men.
Right. So, okay. Yes or no, do you guys think masculinity is under attack?
Let's go for it.
Definitely.
Okay.
Definitely.
Yann? He didn't even say yes. He said definitely.
Yeah, he said definitely.
The reason I say definitely is because remember, we're living in a society now that teaches women, and I'm scared because I have a daughter.
Right.
That teaches women that they don't need support.
Right.
They don't need to depend on someone
Hey, that's deep.
for help.
Right.
I do not expect, although maybe she can change the tire. I don't expect her to do that.
Right.
That's just something that I would take. I don't expect my woman to wake up in the morning and mow the lawn. I mean, she can,
Yeah, she can.
but she's probably gonna ask me, "Yo, please, can you mow the lawn?" And
Right.
I'll gladly do it because I know
Right.
that it's something more physical.
Right. Okay.
Is masculinity,
Is masculinity under attack?
Can I say? I'll be blunt. I'll be very honest. If you ask me if masculinity is under attack, I'll ask for who, for what is it? I'll probably even say for what race, right? Because
Okay.
So
yeah,
a race,
for what race?
okay,
Number
okay.
one, because for the many centuries,
Just remember, we're new here, man. Just
yeah, I'll try and tone it
We
down.
knew
I
here.
know we knew here. Try and tone it down, but it's the
Don't kill
cycle.
us.
It's a cycle of thinking, and
I'm
it's
with you.
the-
Sorry.
It's the trained thought of the question. So it takes
Yeah.
me into a lot of thinking. I'll ask for who, for what race, because there's a lot of we need to understand what we mean by under attack. Is it because
Yeah.
certain people feel under attack, certain people don't feel under attack.
So without going into too much detail, if you
Right.
say for who are you saying it's under attack for?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I'd say it's under attack probably for black men.
for black men.
Yeah.
And by which race is attacking?
Yeah. So
Okay,
yeah,
I'm
that
with you.
did you understand where I'm going with that? So eventually, what I'm saying is it's almost like a race. So certain people have been under attack and are running away from the attack, and certain people have only started getting attacked. So
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah,
Do you
go
think
for
there's a hierarchy of men when it comes to race?
there's an hierarchy of men. Elaborate what you mean by.
So do you think there's levels? Like who do you think society makes different types of men according to their race more important than others?
Yes, definitely. Definitely. And I think we see that in society more and more.
Okay, so let me do this before we go, because we can spend a lot of time on these
Yeah.
conversations. What I want to do is sort of color the perspectives of the gentlemen on this pod, the distinguished gentlemen that you're seeing on this pod.
Uh-oh.
And what I'm going to do is tell you one thing. The first is that both your definitions of masculinity, based on what we now define as woke culture, are seen as toxic masculinity. So where you define masculinity as power and wielding that power is seen now as toxic masculinity.
Okay.
Where you're defining as the man must lead and its leadership is now seen as
Toxic.
masculinity. So here's what I'm going to
Wow.
do.
And this is what I fear for my daughter.
Right. I'm
By the
going
way.
to define what
Toxic.
what traits have been called toxic, and you guys can tell me whether it's toxic or not. All right? So we'll do a quick I read and then you'll say it's toxic, it's not, and if we need to, if we need to jam on it, we jam on it a
This is
little
from a
bit.
man's perspective.
This
right?
is from a man's
From
perspective.
our perspective.
Okay, so the first
Wait,
one.
so the is it the female that have now labeled this as toxic masculinity?
I don't
or
want
is
to.
it-
Oh no, I don't even
is
want to
it-
put this on females.
Okay.
I want to put
Just
this
so
on
we're
what
clear.
woke culture has
Okay.
done,
Right.
right?
Just so we're
and
clear, it's not to females.
yeah,
only
no, I
here.
don't think it's on
Yeah.
females. So my question is this toxic or not? All
Okay.
right. So here's number one: being stoic. That means men are constantly given the message that they must be self-reliant, independent, physically tough, and men are told that to be this way will make them successful in society, in business, and finding a partner. That ultimately being vulnerable causes men to be ridiculed. Is this toxic or not?
Toxic.
Not. So
Toxic.
is being like this toxic or not?
Yes.
Being like that
Toxic or
toxic
not?
for a man?
Yes.
Yes,
Is it
toxic?
they
don't
must
think
be
it's
self-reliant,
I
independent,
think
physically
it's
tough?
toxic.
I
You
don't-
think it's toxic?
I don't think it's toxic.
You don't think it's
And
toxic?
I'll tell you why.
So if we do this, we will be here for 10 hours.
No, I can tell
So
you.
I want to.
quick one,
You want to
quick
tell me
one.
quick?
Yeah, I also want to-
Okay.
yeah.
Quick.
Both of them are now going to say it's going to be quick.
No,
All
it's
right,
quick,
Okay,
quick.
cool.
If I lose my job today, everyone is gone in my life. So I have to be tough.
Damn.
I have to be those things.
Okay. So are you also saying that the only people that love you unconditional are God and your mother?
My mother does everything my mother does in her life is for me.
Right.
Everything other women do in my life is for them.
Okay. Yann, you said it is toxic for men to be.
That's a Mike Tyson quote, by the way.
I see how you threw that in there. Yann, so for men to be, independent, self-reliant, and told that they have to be, strong is toxic.
Yeah, I think it's toxic because you are then telling a man what they need to conform by, in terms of being a man, right? So a lot of us have grown, and I'm speaking from as men who have had fathers. We've had fathers as role model. We've seen what they've done. So we've that's the first point of learning we've ever done.
Yeah.
Is seeing what our father did back then. So for us, we were not told any of these things. So we learned from from our fathers. So that's why I say, if we are being told now to be this, be that, be this, be that, that is now somebody trying to tell me how to live my life, somebody telling me how to express myself in certain ways, it is toxic,
Respect.
right?
What are those qualities again?
Respect.
Personally,
the
for me-
qualities are. Sorry,
Yeah.
go ahead, please.
And I'll say this because I've experienced this. My father left his work, and my mom did not leave. Right? A lot of women. That's why I say we can't generalize, because a lot of women would have left. Yes, probably they do not know why they're there. But if you are, number one, not being told what to do,
But-
and you guys figure this thing out together, right? Not based on what is said,
Societally
acceptable.
Right.
And then you guys figure this thing out together, you would move through it easily. And that's why I say, for me
Okay.
personally, it's toxic.
Okay. So round one, for men to be self-reliant, independent, and physically tough. Yann says it's toxic. Raz says it's not toxic. Okay. I think it's not toxic, if I can share my opinion on that. Number two,
But why? Why do you think it's not toxic?
because I do believe that it's important that a man works on those things, because we are the only, we are the part of society that is measured by real things, right? So a woman can say, I'm an 8, I'm a high value woman. Whoop-de-doo.
No, but then do you think
a
a man has to
man-
work to it because he's being told to work towards it?
A man
a
has
natural
to
thing.
deliver on those things.
You have to.
You have to deliver on it. You can't say, I am X, Y, Z, and there's nothing to show for it. Society is gonna judge you really wrong, and I honestly believe that we are judged based on our ability to lead, demonstrate that, that self-reliance. Because when you are self-reliant, you can lead other people. When you're independent, you can teach other people to be independent.
So it's automatically, it's an automatic thing. That,
Chris Rock once said, men are less loved than
yeah.
dogs, women, and children.
Yeah. And that was only comedians can say that
Yeah,
these days.
absolutely.
But that's
Because you don't need anything to love those people.
Absolutely.
It's just
Yeah.
love. With a man, he has to show some kind of value.
Don't worry, we're getting there. Number two. Number two is this toxic? Being promiscuous. All right. So typically men are praised by other men for their sexual conquests. There is a well-known double standard regarding perceptions of male versus female promiscuity, with men being praised by their peers and they're called studs, whilst women who have multiple partners are branded as sluts. I feel like we need Amber
We're
Rose
just
for
new
this
here, and this guy is
conversation.
bombarding this thing.
Is this toxic or is it not? And remember, I'm giving you the option to say yes or no, so that we are not crucified.
Yeah. I think it is. It is toxic.
Yeah, and Brad says it's toxic.
And the reason I say it's toxic is because, first of all, I think monogamy is a bit unnatural.
Okay.
Yeah. If you look at
Slipped out.
if you look at history, there's no woman on the face of earth that's been given the pass if she has multiple partners. But there's so many men out there, and I'm not gonna name any names. You guys can check. There's so many men out there that have done things outside of their marriage that have been forgiven by women. And I'm not saying it's right. It's just something that is, but it's toxic.
Okay, so you think men and women can be equally promiscuous?
Definitely. But it hurts more when it's the woman.
Okay, so
To
it's
the men.
toxic for men to be promiscuous.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you think it's toxic for men
Can you
to
just
be promiscuous?
rephrase that, because I was listening
Okay.
to him talk. So
Is this toxic or not? Being promiscuous. Typically, men are praised by other men for their sexual conquests. We all know, like when one of your boys shows you someone, is like, God damn! All of us do that. Like, oh,
No, yes, I'll agree with that. You see, God damn.
and
No,
everybody's
definitely.
gonna high five him.
When, bro? How many times?
Hey,
Yeah,
brother.
yeah. So it's exactly that. So it definitely is toxic.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it. To be honest, like, look, there's if we this I almost said there's the
It's toxic. Doesn't mean it's wrong.
wait, I want
But it's toxic.
It doesn't mean it's wrong. He's trying to find a way to console
No.
himself.
It's toxic. Definitely.
it's almost like the formal sector and informal sector.
Right.
If I have to put it that way. I'm sorry, I couldn't find another way to explain it.
Formal and informal sector.
If you understand what I mean.
Right.
I'm gonna leave it there. I'm sorry.
Men are dogs.
If you don't understand it, go look it up.
Very interesting. Very interesting.
Oh,
Forget
Damn.
about it. Sorry.
Um,
But if you get it, yeah.
yeah. If you don't get it, that was very funny. Okay.
Sorry.
it's different, guys. It's different.
No,
it's different. When
look,
a homie
we-
goes out there and he has a couple of joints, it's different. When a shorty goes out there, it's
Promiscuity.
like she's giving herself. She's
Yeah.
giving her soul.
So what are you
Someone
doing?
is
Are you not
inside.
giving your
Dog,
soul?
I'm not.
You going inside.
I'm going in, but I can come out. If someone, when someone goes in, it's different. Like now they visited.
Hence the double standard.
Dude, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's toxic. It's toxic, but it's happening.
Right.
Nah, well,
And
anyways.
throughout history, it's happened. Yo,
Leave it. I just said what I
Interesting.
said. I'm gonna keep it. I'm not gonna.
I think, yeah. I think it's toxic. I think it's toxic. Again, we're new here. Okay, number 3. Is this toxic or not? Championing heterosexuality. Okay? As the as the unchangeable norm, right? I.e., all men should be straight. Okay. Many men are programmed to react negatively to the concept of homosexuality, as it is a sign of deviating from the traditional male stereotype. So through popular rhetoric and from an early age, when boys are learning about gender roles, men are taught that to be homosexual is to be less masculine. And because we're new here, if you want to pass, we can pass.
no. Let's attack it. So I heard this weekend. I heard that there's a school in the UK that's gonna teach, gender neutral education
Right,
in primary school
right.
from I think June 2023. Personally, I don't think any kind of sex education should be taught in primary school.
Okay.
So it has nothing to do with
No sex education in primary school.
yeah, it has nothing to do with anyone's belief.
Cool.
Like if you believe in men with men, women with women, that's cool. Men with women, it's cool. Anything you believe in is cool as long as you're responsible enough to process that information. I don't think primary school kids should be taught any kind of sex education.
Yeah.
I think they should be left alone to be kids and enjoy childhood.
Got it.
So, teaching. What was the question? Teaching kids or teaching?
No,
teaching-
so the proposition is championing heterosexuality as the unchangeable norm.
So what is normal? What is norm? What does that mean?
That heterosexuality, that all men must be straight.
So is that normal in society?
Are you asking me or are you saying what the
Yeah.
statement is?
Is
That's
that
what the
is
statement
that what normal
says.
is in society?
So that
I don't know. That's why I'm asking you.
See, so that's the thing. You have to define normal. If normal is normal a majority thing, or is it a section of a thing? So if we have a whole pie,
Yeah.
if a piece of the pie is normal and the rest of the pie isn't normal, then normal is that piece, that little piece. But if the big piece is normal and the small piece isn't, then the big piece is so what is normal?
Ladies and gentlemen, the book of Raj, chapter 6.
So it's crazy because normal to me might not be normal to you. Normal behavior depends on your own.
Respect. Okay. Yann, let me get your thoughts on this. Do you want me to say it again?
Please, because I've
Okay,
been
so,
listening to the thoughts and I've been drinking too. So.
Maybe heterosexuality is too pungent.
Yeah.
I'll say championing men being straight as the unchangeable norm. So many men are programmed to react negatively to the concept of homosexuality, as it is a sign of deviating from the traditional male stereotype. So through popular rhetoric and from an early age when boys are learning about gender roles, men are taught that to be homosexual is to be less masculine. And so therefore, championing that all men should be straight. Is
Yeah,
that toxic or is
I
it
don't
not?
think it's toxic
Okay.
because it's
You also didn't think it's toxic,
I
by
don't
the
think
way.
it's toxic. No.
Okay, sorry,
I don't
just
think
to
it's
make
toxic,
sure I got
and
that.
I think it's because there's education being done here, right? So if I'm speaking as a father who has a 12-year-old son,
Right.
right? So I have had to start that conversation a little earlier in his life because we live in a world
Which conversation?
of being a straight man,
Oh, wow.
what a straight man is, because
Okay.
my son has seen what uh, being I don't want to put it so being other trans and all these other stuff.
He's been exposed
He's been
to.
exposed to that
Okay.
already.
variety of
that
things.
variety of thing.
Where?
So from school,
No, YouTube.
not necessarily even YouTube, school, because there are different parents who allow their kids to go and go through that motion at a young age already.
Right.
So as much as you think you're not educating your son, other kids are learning from their parents already,
Got it.
right? So you either teach your son, or the school or the street's going to do that for you,
Definitely.
right? So
So you're teaching your kid your
yeah.
beliefs.
I'm teaching my kids my belief,
Definitely.
our belief.
Yeah.
That listen, we would not subscribe to such. Here is X, Y, and Z.
Got it.
Right? So from that young age already, he is able to then discern and make a decision based on what he now understands. Not even by me persuading him, I don't persuade him. I explain it to him.
Right.
So he's able to come to accountability and make that sound decision. So I don't think it's toxic at all.
Definitely.
Respect.
Yeah.
Respect. I agree. I don't think it's toxic.
I don't think it's toxic. No.
Okay. Yeah, that one was great.
I mean, as parents, we need to be able to teach our kids our beliefs. I think that's what family is. That's what culture is.
Yeah.
You pass on your beliefs to your kids, and
Yeah.
they process that, and they take that and run with it.
Yeah.
Do what they.
So
they
did you guys agree with what Qatar did for the World Cup, i.e.,
Yeah,
they didn't allow
I
expressions
personally
of
agree.
homosexuality, etc., etc.? Did
It's
you
their
guys?
belief.
Guys, I mean, you're going into their home.
Yeah, you go into their turf. You can't go
if
into somebody's
someone
house
comes
and
into my
change the
house-
painting.
And he's
Right.
dressed inappropriately. I'll tell him, look, man, I don't
My
want my
house,
kids.
my rules.
Yeah, it's my house. I wouldn't come to your house
Yeah.
dressed how you didn't want me to dress, or I wouldn't do things in your house.
Mm.
So I totally agree with Qatar. What they did,
Absolutely.
it's their country.
Yeah.
Coming to somebody's
Their
house
beliefs.
and smoking in a toilet.
No,
What the hell is that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Number 4. Is this toxic or not? Being violent. Statistically, men commit significantly more violent crime than women. There are numerous reasons for this, but there are clear links between male instigated violence and the need men have to use aggression and violence to prove their masculinity and bolster confidence in their masculine identity. Is this toxic or not?
So it's very toxic because it creates being violent. Violence comes from insecurity, and because of not being able to express yourself as a man, because of this lack of you being a man, it creates that insecurity, and that insecurity leads to violence.
Got it. Yann?
If we had more space to talk
So
as men.
Got it.
that question is very broad. What?
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I want to just, you finished on a line there. You said if we had more space to talk as men, we'd be less violent.
Yes.
Okay.
Definitely. Expressing ourselves as men, having a platform to just not be judged. Remember, like I said at the beginning,
Now we're going to talk when you're an introvert.
What?
How are we gonna talk when you're
Yeah,
in
which is
intro?
both
No,
questionable.
but that's the thing. The reason I'm an introvert is because
Keep it all in.
yeah, I have to be a man. Being a man I have everything under control.
Right.
But if I don't have it under control,
Then what?
I become insecure. And because of my insecurity, I need an outlet.
Got it.
And
Respect.
if I had someone to speak to, yes, I'm an introvert, but I have someone to speak to. Could be your dad, could be
Yeah.
your friends, someone that's not gonna judge be a man.
Yeah, be a man.
And it's gonna be this podcast.
Yeah, definitely. This is where I'm gonna.
So welcome to it.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm sorry to interrupt you. Please, go ahead.
the
Do you want me to phrase it again?
Just quickly, yeah. Just
okay.
a quick
Being
touch.
violent.
he's being careful.
No, I'm not.
No, because I know I read, so you have to make sure
and then I
you've
listen to him
grasped
while
it.
you and
Exactly.
Then, yeah, so I lose.
So
the
being
thought of it.
violent, statistically, men commit significantly more violent crime than women. There are numerous reasons for this, but there are clear links between male instigated violence and the need men have to use aggression and violence to prove their masculinity and bolster confidence in their masculine identity.
Perfect. Now, the question you read stated there's various reasons for this.
So real quick, is it toxic or is it not toxic? You
It's
said
not,
it's
I say
very,
it's not toxic.
it's not toxic.
Yeah.
It's not toxic
To be violent.
to be violent.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know that? Sorry,
Yeah.
you know that Instagram clip where the guy goes, they ask him, "Sir, do you speak English?" He says, "Yes, I speak English." They ask him, "What's your name?" He says,
Motherfucker.
"Motherfucker." And then it ends with, "Hello, motherfucker." I just had that moment there with a
Exactly.
Well, hello,
Hello, motherfucker. Exactly.
Sorry.
Hello, motherfucker. But there is, I believe in what there is necessary violence. I'll give you an example again as a father. When my son goes to school, I tell him, listen, I don't accept bullies. You don't bully anyone, don't allow anybody to bully you, right? But when there is a need for you to use force and violence, use it under these circumstances. So that's the necessary violence that I would be for. It's the same for me in life. If I am stopped somewhere and I need to use that force, that violence, yes, it might be classified or seen as a statistics as a man being violent, but I must use that violence.
Right.
So
You're
I
saying
don't think it's
you're
toxic.
saying
If I am
respect.
fighting a woman, then it's a different thing.
right.
Then that violence, we're not talking about it. We don't
abuse.
condone it. That's abuse. That
Right.
you should be crucified for that. That's a different type of violence altogether.
Yeah.
But there is that as a man, you should have a certain level of violence in you that should be able to come out. Again,
Self-defense.
Self-defense. But again, it also brings in the other balance side of self-control, being able to control that violence in you. It's not just at any point you're just violent. No,
Respect.
Yeah.
Respect. I completely agree with that. I think that every man, and it's my controversial thought around this is, I think every man should learn how to be as violent as he possibly can, and then quickly learn to put all of it under control
Absolutely.
as
I think I agree
quickly
with that.
as you possibly can, because it has to be applicable. You must know how to protect society. You must know, that's what they teach you in the army.
Yeah,
They
I was
teach
about to say
you
the
maximum
same thing.
violence, and then they strain you on how to contain
Control
it.
it. See, that's
And
what
that's
brought in the
what-
self-discipline.
absolutely.
like self-control.
So
I misunderstood your violence. I thought
Okay.
it was just it was
Yeah.
violence towards.
yeah, no. I think
the
the next
woman.
one,
Yeah.
the next few, you
I
will
thought
find
it
out
was violence
different.
towards women and
Yeah,
But that's why society is now so sort of put violence. Every time we hear violence, we think of it
Yeah.
in the negative sense.
yeah,
It's not necessarily in a negative sense. If you
Mm.
look at
Yeah.
Ukraine now and Russia, both sides have got to use violence, and
Yeah.
it's masculinity both
and
from
in,
both
in
sides.
fact, the most dangerous men are the ones who have not learned how to
control their violence.
and themselves. So, mass shootings
Yeah.
and if you have a need for something, to come into someone else's house to get it because you lack the intelligence to operate
Absolutely.
for yourself, is where we are. Okay, next one. Being dominant. is this toxic or not? Being dominant. To be preoccupied with power and dominance to a point that it causes harm to others, such as verbal, physical, and online bullying. One study found that over a quarter of men thought they should have the final word in relationships. Over a third of men believed that they had the right to know where their female partner was at all times.
You see, now that's while
Is this toxic or
Raz
not?
is pouring. I think that's a violent so this is toxic. I
Got it.
personally say that's toxic.
Yep.
Because the good book says no one should have dominant over the
Which
other.
good book?
The good book, the Bible
Okay.
states.
What is that ice?
The good book, the Bible states that no one should have dominant over the other.
Okay.
Right? So if based on what you just read, if it's for me to try and dominate my wife, I dominate her in bed, nothing else.
Hey.
Right? If it's for me to not dominate her in a way where
Wait,
she
say that
feels.
again. Dominate.
Now, if you missed that, you missed it. Tough. I'm not gonna repeat that.
It came and went.
Came and went.
Right.
So there's different levels. I don't
dominate in
dominate.
bed.
Yeah, I don't dominate her physically and try and strangle her and stuff.
But dominating in bed is a physical thing.
Yeah, but if she likes it, then it isn't. It's a different story.
It's okay.
It's okay, my brother.
Raz.
Look, any kind of force upon someone that's not willing
Yeah.
to receive that force is toxic.
Anyone not willing to receive the force.
So they have to be willing to receive.
Yeah, if it's well received.
Right.
Like I said, like you can be dominant.
What's your thought on it?
You can be dominant in bed. It's well received. But if
Yeah.
you're dominant and you're slapping people and
Yeah.
you're not receiving it, it's toxic.
No, I agree. I agree. I think it's toxic. It's what we defined in the previous thing. This
Yeah.
is where
the
you lose control
differentiations.
and then you misapply.
Manage your-
Yeah, it
violence.
actually weakens society when we do this.
Definitely.
We create rapists. We create men who don't take care of their children. We create men who abuse their
Mismanagement
wives.
of masculinity.
That's another
they
topic for another
mismanage their
day.
energy.
Don't take care of their
And
kids.
you end up being incarcerated where you could make stronger contributions to society. Okay, next one. Sexual aggression towards women. Is this toxic or not?
That's rape.
Men who conform to toxic masculinity standards are more likely to make sexual comments or sexist jokes to women, commit sexual harassment, accept rape myths, and behave
Yo.
as if they are entitled to women's bodies. Toxic.
Toxic.
All the way.
Toxic.
Okay.
We don't.
You don't even
Next.
need to explain.
That's toxic.
Like if you don't
toxic.
understand that that's toxic, there's
Yeah,
something not.
toxic. If
Yeah.
you
Not
can't play your
wired
game,
correctly.
And
if
you
don't
guys
have
are
an
not
A
you're
game.
not being politically correct.
Nah, if you don't have an
Okay,
A
no.
game and you
Dog,
know,
I have a
nah.
daughter. I expect
Yeah.
whoever she dates
Yeah,
to respect her space,
I
her
got
body.
a daughter
her-
too.
I mean,
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
toxic.
Okay. Number 7. Not displaying emotion. Is this toxic or not? Emotion is treated as being a feminine characteristic. Stifling emotion is seen as true manliness.
Hello.
From childhood, males are ashamed to conform with the standard that to show emotion is weak and feminine. Is showing emotion toxic?
I just had that. Hello, motherfucker.
Well, hello.
You can go first. Yeah,
I should go
You
first.
go first.
Showing emotion is not showing emotion or showing emotions.
Not displaying emotion.
I
Is
think
this
it's toxic. Not showing emotion is toxic. And again, it depends where you're showing emotions,
Okay.
to whom you're showing emotions to. If I'm showing emotions to my wife, it isn't toxic. But if I'm showing emotions in the midst of men that I probably do not know, I'm in a pub or whatever, and all of a sudden just start showing random emotions, I think that's toxic. But that's why I say that we need to classify that. But again, on the good side, it's for me personally, if you're showing emotions to the right people, it's not toxic. In fact, it is.
Encouraged.
Yeah, it's encouraged, and I think
Should be
it's
encouraged.
yeah, it's also one's well-being. You had a point where you are considering your well-being. We need to understand that there is a certain place for emotions. There's a place for. I mean, you can't go to war and now you start showing emotions. My mother, I'm gonna die, and all your peers are holding their guns and they're going to war, and here you are showing emotion.
That's just
They're
the
gonna
that's just
exactly.
the real you coming out.
No, but yes, it's fear, but they're gonna call your name.
You
They're gonna-
scared?
You scared, motherfucker. Go to church. Guys. That fly woke up and left.
Okay. I think showing emotions is not toxic. I think we need to learn, especially if you're as a father.
No. So what you're answering is that not displaying emotion
Is
is
toxic.
toxic.
Yes.
So Yann agrees it's
Yes.
also toxic. Okay.
Yeah.
As men, we need to look after our boys,
Yeah.
and we didn't really get this growing up from our parents because our parents were very old school. In fact, with my dad, as much as he was a very understanding guy, we never really spoke about I'm scared to walk in the house when there's no power. Small things
Right.
when you're small, when you're a kid,
Right.
4 years old, just so he can teach you, so you can teach your kid how to manage that fear.
Right.
So, as men, we need to teach our boys how to be men,
Yeah.
and that comes with allowing them to open up by us opening up to them. If they
Got
can
it.
see some kind of vulnerability in us, then they can
But you see,
reciprocate.
again, just you see what you say, boys. Like, I sometimes have to teach my son to hold his emotions in front of his sister.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So
yes.
it can't. That's
but
what I
I'm-
say.
But
Yeah.
you're including a woman. I'm talking
Yeah.
about you and him. When
No,
he is
absolutely.
with you,
At some points, I have to
you
tell
should
him
be-
hold it. Yeah.
you should be able to open up. I remember my dad, for example. He
Absolutely.
would take me swimming every Sunday, and you would have a steam room, and that's where we had our conversation.
Okay.
Hey, niggas had it in the
He's-
steam room.
He's hey man. He's in his towel. I'm in my. We've just come from swimming.
Right.
We're sitting, and I'm seeing all these other guys, men,
Mm.
and I'm the youngest guy there, and I'm trying to think, what is he teaching me? He's teaching me that I'm a man, and
Right.
this is an open floor. We can talk about anything,
Got it.
and that's what we did. We spoke about anything and everything. He really tried,
Okay.
but there's
Nice.
obviously certain things that he didn't tap into because
Okay.
of that
Respect.
old school.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Agreed. Not displaying emotion is toxic. I agree with
definitely.
that. All right. Number 8, not being a feminist ally. All right. It's unsurprising that the overly masculine would reject men who identify as allies or feminists. Research shows that men engaging in feminist activism are the targets of harassment by men who prescribe to toxic masculinity as it is perceived as feminine and non-conformist to toxic masculinity. Essentially, being a feminist, is it toxic? Or being let me be very clear on the point.
question, yeah.
Being an ally to feminists.
Okay, so what is a feminist?
Wait,
That's
no,
a-
I was
that's
actually
a-
going to ask more. What do you mean by being
That's
an
another
ally?
podcast
Yeah.
altogether.
We
Being an
understand
ally,
that
being
because
an
we
ally
feminists
is being a friend to a feminist, like
Okay.
accepting.
Yeah.
So not showing characteristics of feminist. Is that what we are
No,
asking?
no. Not being a feminist ally. So, not believing in feminism is
In
essentially-
feminism.
Yeah.
Not believing in feminism.
What is
Or
feminism?
not being an ally.
Let's be straight. Are we talking about not believing in feminism, or are we talking about not?
not being an ally of feminism.
What is feminism?
You're there on your
checking.
you're there. He's in the
I Google it.
he has this thing, he goes to this Oxford dictionary.
Feminism.
Because feminism is another podcast on its own.
Yeah, it's another.
So maybe you
topic.
give us a one-liner. Okay.
Let me tell you what feminism is.
Right.
The advocacy of women's rights
Yes.
on the basis of the equality of the sexes.
Right.
So if you're an ally to that,
If you're an ally, you believe
that
that
men
women's
and-
rights,
No. Wait, is it women's rights or women's rights?
it's
Yes.
women's rights.
women's
Yes.
right in what?
Is that women's rights are fundamental across all sectors of society and must be driven forward.
I'll pass to this one.
I think men and women rights should be equal.
Got it.
Yeah.
So it's toxic to not be a feminist ally.
Yeah, I am definitely a feminist.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll pass. I'll drink.
You pass.
Yeah.
Let the record state that no.
He needs to check. He needs
No,
to,
no, no, no.
'cause
Because for me, it's not
But
clear.
I also want to make
Yeah, that's what
sure
I'm saying.
It's not
you,
clear
You
at
have
all.
to go home and make sure that
Not
what
even.
you say.
I need to. I need to understand what are we saying.
So
because
this is what we're saying. Right?
yeah, I'm.
A feminist
Yeah.
is someone that believes that men and women should have equal rights.
is that what you read in the definition?
That's what I read in the definition. Equal rights.
Okay.
You see, equal, and I believe every human being
Yeah.
should have equal rights. So if I believe that,
No, rights is a different thing, but are
that's
we
what it
equal?
says.
Yeah.
No,
When
no,
we talk
it
about
doesn't-
rights,
It didn't say we're equal. I don't believe
Yeah.
men and women are equal.
exactly, we're not right.
Equal
We're not
rights.
equal. Yeah, equal rights. Yes, I mean, as a
That
human,
means
that makes
I'm a feminist. If I believe that men and women should have equal
no. But
rights.
being a human being already, we should all have equal rights.
Yes, but
so
there's
regardless,
a specific question right
But
now.
that's the
But
thing.
that's why I want to understand what is that specific. What?
So this is why some people don't understand feminism because at the end of the day, we all have equal rights.
I'm probably one of those persons.
I'm a
guys.
feminist, definitely. If that's the definition.
No, that's
I'm a
why I say I
feminist.
opt out because it's
So
it's another podcast.
It's
on
not
its own.
toxic to be an ally of feminists.
Okay.
Got it. I agree. I think it's not toxic. Fundamentally, I also think that we've just disempowered probably what is some of the most powerful section of our society, because men have built certain systems that needed a different input, right? The way we solve problems has been applied across multiple generations, and we are getting to a point where it will be man versus machine, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So
sure.
but again, that is a completely different podcast. But I'm very clear. Let the record reflect that Colonel did not change his opinion after we
The record
Okay,
is
cool.
different.
One more.
One more.
Sorry, I've got two more.
Okay.
Risk taking. Okay.
Risk-taking.
Connected to male dominance, toxic masculinity encourages taking risks to demonstrate dominance. Men who buy into this are more likely to take extreme measures, such as driving dangerously, gambling, and perhaps abusing drugs. Is taking risks and being a risk taker toxic?
And so before you answer, sorry, Rest,
We'll start with you.
So I
so
just
we
want to
can
understand because
redeem
you
you.
just mentioned drugs, all of that.
Right.
How does that fit into risk? Because there are different types of risk.
Yeah.
I could be taking a simple business risk, and that's got nothing to do with drugs,
For sure.
etc.
But the proposition is risk taking toxic?
No,
or
I don't.
not?
I don't think it's toxic at
Okay.
all. Yeah, I think a man has to calculate at some point, to a certain degree, every decision a man makes or takes is a risk. But it's just to what degree do you calculate it to, and then make the decision
Got it.
based on that.
Got it.
No risk, no reward.
Got it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, this,
Um,
this Raz Bible.
the Book of Raz, chapter 8,
Hey, the buzz.
verse 3. Yeah, I agree. It's not toxic to take risks. I think that when you take risks that essentially force you to capitulate, then it's game over, right? All of us play a particular game, and then you get to a point where you capitulate, where one, you've taken too much risk and you've now lost your freedom, i.e., you're now in jail for the rest of your life. Two, you've taken someone's life,
Absolutely.
et cetera, et cetera.
A man
Things
is
that,
about to hit on a woman, he takes his risk, calculates it.
yeah,
Exactly. If she's married, yes or no? I'm
yeah,
sorry. the
but
drink-
really painful things that you can't undo. I think
Yeah.
that's going too far.
No, that's going too far. Absolutely.
And then one more, not engaging in household chores and caregiving. Is this toxic? Again,
Yeah.
Not engaging.
not engaging.
Yeah,
That's
it's
definitely
toxic.
toxic.
That's
Not
that.
engaging in household chores and caregiving.
Wait, but it depends again
Yeah.
what kind of chores. I'm not
No.
a cooker. I don't cook.
Yeah, but
For
I
me,
mean, it's not like you don't
personally,
get in the kitchen and
Yeah,
and
from
help
now
out.
and then, times to time. But
I'm not saying like come out with the greatest meal,
Yeah.
but I'm sure when your woman is cooking, you're
So it's the
coming here,
same
you can
vice
chop-
versa for my wife.
you
My
can- you
wife
can chop
might not be
onions.
good at maybe coming out cutting the grass or whatever.
Yeah,
Do you
yeah,
understand
but
what I
she's
mean?
there, she'll
But
bring
she's
you some
there.
drink-
She'll
the
be like,
drink
"Hey,
you
baby,
would-
here are the plastic bags.
Yeah, she'll
Here
cut.
you
Yeah.
go." Do you know what I mean? But yeah, balance is key.
Look,
Ish.
man, the greatest thing a man needs to learn,
Balenciaga.
and this is something men needs. This is something I teach the boys around me, the young boys around me, is that you need to learn to support the people you love.
Yeah.
So there is absolutely no way me coming in the kitchen and preparing a meal for my woman that's sick or tired or she's just not having a good day, and I take that initiative. There's nothing wrong with that.
Absolutely.
I cannot be toxic.
Love it. Love
That's just building.
It
and
isn't
building
toxic.
and building.
Yeah. And you don't think you're seen as being weak.
Who's
for,
seeing it?
You know,
Who's seeing it?
whoever
Between me and my woman,
you
you're not seeing anything unless I'm telling you.
There's Raz making beans there.
My man,
now.
you are not seeing
Who's
anything.
seeing it?
There
That's
you
a
are
good
cutting
one.
It's
cucumbers.
private.
Who's seeing it?
No one is seeing it. She's seeing it. I'm seeing it. That's it.
There you are cutting onions.
Yeah. No one is seeing it.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
You're
I
not
also agree.
privileged to that.
That's it.
Yeah.
I
Thank you. I
agree.
think that
I
was
agree.
that was super good. And it sort of frames how we think around what this toxic masculinity is. And there are certain things that are toxic, and there are certain things that are just, an expression of masculinity. And in line with that is something we'll do here very often is we'll put a scenario up and sort of ask the question, did he go too far? Did this go too far?
Nice.
Did that person go too far? And there are two things I have in mind. One is South Africa is experiencing a massive, massive energy crisis. We've been experiencing it for 12 years.
We're experiencing it now. The generators on. You can't
We're
smoke.
experiencing it right now. And what's so sad is the only other countries that are really experiencing this level of, lack of power are some war-torn countries and countries that have completely collapsed. Our president made a statement.
Out of his hands.
Our president made a statement, and the national energy regulator gave ESCOM 18.6%, price hike, and the man who runs the country said, "My hands are tied." I want to know from you, gentlemen, did he take it too far?
With all due respect,
I'm telling
Right.
you.
like I wouldn't like dog. You know this thing. It's so crazy because I'm looking at it from maybe a point of view that's the most simplest point of view because I'm not really into it.
Right.
How difficult could it be
Yeah.
to fix things? It might take some time, yes. But people were out there borrowing money when they locked us up for COVID.
Yeah.
How difficult? Maybe I'm like comments, please put something in the comments. Maybe I'm maybe there's something that I'm missing. How
Right.
difficult could it be for a country like South Africa to fix this problem? Like, what's missing?
Yeah.
How can it be? How are his hands tied?
His hands are tied, brother.
How?
When the president, like again, you said with all due respect,
Dog,
hey,
he took it too far.
You took it too far.
Way too far.
yeah, no,
for
it's-
me,
I
Like
I
from
think
where I'm sitting.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me too. when the it's almost like when your
You
kids
don't
come
feel that
to
was
you.
masculine.
No, that's basically him saying.
I don't
"Look,
wanna lose this thought."
Someone else must
Sorry.
take responsibility.
somebody else
but
must
this is
deal
what I
with
want to say. It's like your kids coming to you, and they say, "Daddy, we need to buy bread,"
My hands are
and
tied.
you're like, "My hands are." Wait, but your kids are coming to you, and they're like, "Daddy, we need milk and bread."
You need to understand. There's nothing the kids can do.
And you're like, kids, you look at your kids in the eye and you tell your kids, "My hands are tied."
Shit.
Yeah,
No, he took it too far. That's all I'm
Yeah,
gonna
that's
say.
a poignant example. Really, really strong example.
Absolutely, it's.
I don't understand. I really don't get it. Someone needs to tell me in the comments. Explain it to me.
Again, it's again like the one thing my kids used to. I have to use this example because you learn a lot from these kids. My daughter's iPad kept. There was
You
an
stay
issue with-
catching these flies, brother.
Oh, bro, I've been trying- you saw it,
And you even held him. You let him go. Sorry.
We used to watch a lot of Mr. Miyagi. So
Load
my
shedding.
daughter used to be like, Daddy, when are you gonna fix my iPad?
My hands are tied.
No, every day. It went on for a week. Daddy, when are you gonna fix my iPad? The last day that it hit me when she asked me, and I said to her, I'll fix it. She's like, Daddy, that's all you say.
Oh wow.
It hit me. Then I'm like, oh shucks, now and you
All
now
talk,
need to
no
fix
action.
it.
Yeah.
You now need to fix it because now you've been saying I will, and she's like, no, Daddy, but you said you will. And my daughter is very expressive. She's like, no, Daddy, but Daddy, you said you will. And you're sitting there like,
Yeah.
this is the last person I want to disappoint,
Whoa.
right?
Bro.
This is really the last person I want to disappoint. That same day I fixed it.
Yeah.
I didn't wait for the next day. I had to fix it the same day. Now imagine your president telling you his hands are tied.
Maybe
Yeah.
he has a plan. Let's give.
No, he didn't give a plan. His
No, maybe
hands
he
are
has a
tied.
plan. So you know how they say
Whoever's
sometimes
tying his
with
hands.
leadership you must be discreet.
Somebody tied his hands, got the key. No.
Sometimes with imagine I heard this in a joke. They were about to cut this guy's power. Imagine if this guy went to his kids and said, "Yo, man, look, they're about to cut the power. There's nothing I can do." His solution was to keep quiet, not let the kids know. Go and hustle for that money. Make sure that they don't cut the power. So maybe that's what our president's doing.
I hear you.
Discreet leadership.
I hear you. Yeah. I mean, look, there's no one in government that's been tasked with fixing the ESCOM issue like Cyril has. You know, he was appointed during Zuma's cabinet to run it a few years ago. You know, there are clips that came out that we've dealt with the load shedding issue.
Though he said he dealt, it's not going to happen
Like
again.
it's not gonna happen again.
Here we are.
And it's rough. It's rough. I
12
think that
hours a day.
yeah, I think we genuinely, I think for everything he's survived. He took this too far. Like we really like
He survived.
he definitely he took this too far.
He survived the farm stuff.
you
Well,
know,
the list goes on.
like and here's the last thing I'm gonna close with. Well, as far as did he take it too far go? You know, Black Coffee tweeted last week
Hey.
and said you know false prophets dressed as you know in Winnie Mandela outfits. I want to know if the brother took it too far.
For that tweet.
One, for the tweet, and then two, I want to know if Enhle took it too far. Because Enhle has been crying foul for a very long time about what he's done to her. And it's now emerged, allegedly, that there was a phone call.
Alleged.
The phone call is not alleged, it's live,
yeah.
it's on social channels. That she's been with a married man, they've had, you know, a relationship, and she was supposedly allegedly meant to become the man's second wife. This whilst you've accused your own husband of abuse. You know, you've done the social media crying, and everybody got behind you. We believe
you up.
Enhle.
So so Black Coffee tweeted that Enhle is a false prophet.
No.
Yes.
Well,
That's what he tweeted.
But he didn't use her name.
Say,
He didn't
he didn't
use
say
the
her
name.
name. No.
Yeah, that's what I
He
mean.
just said false prophets
False
dressed
prophet.
as Winnie
But
Mandela.
for those who
Dressed
know.
as
And
Winnie
again, I'm paraphrasing because I forget the exact tweet.
Yeah.
But I mean,
I don't
can
think
we
he
find
took,
the
he
exact
took
tweet? I'm
that
sure
too
we can.
far.
Okay.
Because a false prophet would be someone that's saying something but doing something else, right?
That is the definition.
So I don't think he went too far.
Okay.
If he's addressing Enhle, then again we don't know who he's addressing because
Right.
he didn't specify.
No, the reason we
assuming-
know who is or the reason we're assuming he's addressing Enhle is because
Because
when
we
she
know the
went to
context.
court and she walked out, they had the placards. They were dressed as, you know, Winnie with the
yeah.
fist up.
Yes.
And you know,
So what we're basing our conclusion is on that. If that's what we're basing our conclusions on, then I
Correct.
don't think he took it too far.
You don't think he took
Yeah.
it too far?
I think she took it too far
she took it
because she got involved with a married man. She's allegedly got involved with a married man. So
Okay.
I think that already is going to. I don't care what she did afterwards. Just getting involved with someone, another woman's man, I think, is wrong.
Is it that she got involved with another woman's man while still marrying and accusing her husband of all sorts of things, or is it just that she got with him?
It's messy. It's a mess because she's still married, right? And then she engaged in these things with a man who's already married, who also has a partner. And then
Yeah.
allegedly we found out that her and that woman had a conversation because that woman found out allegedly. And their solution, her and the married man, was that she becomes the second wife allegedly.
There's a tweet of his that really touched me, and I remember bookmarking it, where he said, and it was on the 28th of December. He said, "Thank you for your positive messages. I'll be fine. Going through some of the comments makes one realize why most men bottle things up, and some even take their lives. I hope you listen and offer support to men in your lives when they show vulnerability." And I think the whole situation we've come to is where if a woman accuses a man of something, particularly rape, the campaign built around it
Rape and
is
abuse.
rape and abuse, is that we believe X, before the law takes its course. And I think we've now gotten
And
to
we
a point,
judge.
and we judge.
Remorse, yeah.
And before the law takes its course, and we've now gotten to a point where there have been real consequences
Definitely.
for people who were in fact innocent.
Definitely.
But because of the pressure of social media, which is stronger than that of the courts, we've seen we believe in X.
What do you think? What do you think? What would your solution be for women that falsely accuse men of these type of crimes?
Right. We have to create real consequences for defamation, because late last year the country lost a teenager to a joke
yeah,
that a
was-
girl
that was
made
not funny, yeah.
and said he raped me. And because of the shame and the embarrassment, and this boy saying, "I did none of this," and no one would believe him, he took his own life. You can't undo that. But what happens to this girl now, right? So we've seen the same thing happen to
Tall ass Mo.
and he talks about it, and he says he tried to commit suicide 3 times.
No, but I think
So
it's
you have
because
to
the
create
victim-
consequences
Yeah,
for
we
for the women who
Absolutely.
defame these men in this way.
It's a breaking story type of thing, not
yeah.
to cut you. It's
I
a
think-
breaking story type of thing. So
I think whatever crime that they accuse the person of, whatever time he was gonna do for that crime, should be reciprocated.
Or passed on to the defamer.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So if you were going to do 80 years in jail for rape,
whatever. Yeah.
if someone's defaming you, then that woman should do,
yeah. Or man or whatever. Whoever falsely
right,
accuses.
whoever falsely accuses.
So
Because
what I
that
was
way
gonna
you
s-
create consequences.
Yeah, what I was gonna say is ideally it's that breaking story. The first time we mostly hear it is from a female, and most tend to feel that remorse or that sort of believe it because it's coming from the female, right? Without we generally don't question whether it is true or false. We automatically assume that damn, she was raped. That was an awful, brutal experience. Nobody would want to go through that. But to flip the coin and look at the other side, and the other guy is saying, I was innocent. I was not there. This is an accusation completely. I mean, what do you do? And I think the consequences of these type of actions need to be extremely severe. And I think women need to understand that yes, you do have that power, but again, it boils down to control. And I think this needs to be dealt with
Yeah.
seriously.
And it makes a joke of actual serious
Yeah.
accusations. Like someone
Right.
could actually be experiencing
Like
these
joking like that where the kid took his life, that is
things.
irreversible.
Someone could be at
completely.
home now experiencing these things, and because of someone else's false accusations, we don't believe this person or we don't take this person serious.
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. By the way, a very big thank you. This is our official residence. Big thank you to Priva Restaurant in
So,
Ward.
shout out to
Group.
Priva.
Shout out, shout out, shout out.
Shout out
We
to
love the
Priva,
setting.
Priva.
It's beautiful, and we want to make magic here. Are you guys betting men? I'm just saying because Man U and Man
We
City
take a little risk from time to time.
aggressive
I'm gonna
risk
say.
taking.
Man U supporter?
Man City.
What happened? Oh,
Who said-
Man City supporter.
Who
What
said
happened?
I'm a Man City
What
supporter?
happened this weekend, bro?
Do we have any proof that he's a bet?
I got the same T-shirt as you at home.
I know that you're a Man City supporter. I know this. I know you. I've been to your house.
Yeah, you
What
caught me
happened-
watching
what
a Man
happened-
City game.
What
so
happened this weekend?
The game happened this weekend. We just didn't score the goals expected. But on the other hand, it's fine. We'll see.
Yeah, it's good to have the football back. What are you guys watching?
This weekend I started watching The Last of Us, but there's only one episode.
Oh, really?
Yeah, The Last of Us.
It's horror,
it's a
right?
game. It's a game that I was playing
Yeah, I know the game on the
about
console
zombies.
Stuff. Yeah,
there's a
zombies. and
virus
stuff.
come out.
So it
So
is
there's
horror.
There's a series. It's not a horror. It's like a drama adventure.
But there is.
I mean, there's zombies, but it's not like
So if there's zombies, it's horror.
it's an adventure.
It's a
Thriller.
horror,
Yeah.
guys. Let's call it what it is. It's a
What
horror.
What are you watching?
I just finished Tulsa King.
Tulsa King.
Tulsa King was
With Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah, with Sylvester Stallone.
Is it nice? Is it good?
It's stunning. I think there's a whole lot of element that we spoke about here that you would find in
I
that
need to check it out.
series.
It's a series.
Yeah, it's a very nice series.
Sylvester Stallone.
The humor he brings in there is hilarious. I
Guys,
mean,
how-
it's
How old is
just.
Sylvester? That guy's been.
That
acting
looks like he
since-
kills the
But
role.
he kills the role. The one thing I love about that series is the suit he was wearing.
What's it called?
Tulsa King. The various
Tulsa
type of,
King. Tulsa is a
Tul-
city.
It's
I'll check it
It's a city in the US.
I'll check it
TULSA.
out.
The type of suits the guy had on that series was to die for.
Just
Tulsa
refreshing.
But,
King. Okay.
yeah.
Just refreshing.
Yourself, what
Is it
you
like a
watching? too?
Drama.
Yeah, it's like a
Mafia?
sort of mafia type of movie.
Do you remember
Action.
Boardwalk Empire? Have
Yeah.
you ever seen?
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
It's a modern
I
version
didn't, I
of.
didn't watch. I
Oh,
didn't watch it.
Boardwalk Empire. Do yourself a favor.
I
It
watched like
is.
the first episode and I was bored.
Is it? Stunning show.
I think series
Stunning
that have
show.
slow start tend to be interesting.
True. Very
Yeah.
true. Very true.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very true.
Cool.
I just wrapped up Kaleidoscope.
Okay.
Stunning show. Very deep.
Cool beans.
We are the Man or Man podcast.
Man or Man
Gentlemen,
podcast.
it's been revealing. It's been exciting. Thank you for sharing your mind.
Definitely.
And until we meet again.
Yo.
Cheers,
peace.
fellas.
Peace,
Cheers,
peace,
all.
peace, peace, peace.
Cheers.